right, gentlemen. Let's not work. Okay, just kidding. There's a little bit of work left. Well. Here we are. At the very end. It's very strange. I started this project so long ago. I've had how many kids since then? Man. I started this way back when. The first thing I did was after season 1 of The Mandalorian. I watched a video from Movies Remastered, that YouTube channel, where he kind of disguised Din Djarin's face reveal at the end of season 1 with some slick editing. And that inspired me. And I went and did a little edit like that. Really just super basic. Removed a couple things I wasn't too fond of in season 1. Like that face thing. I removed that also. I kind of watched his video on YouTube and replicated his process in my own cut, and then I smashed some of the episodes together to make just one little movie. Never released that one. That was just for my own personal watching. When was that? When did The Mandalorian come out? Was that 2017? Season 1? When was that? $2019. So that was 2019, 6 years ago. By the end of that, it concluded December 27th. So I started this project, unofficially early 2020. When did I start editing for Rizzle? Probably 2022. Let's check. So I made this in May 2022. Okay, so we're 3.5, and when I dropped this, man, what did I have any movies out by then? I can't even remember. I think I had finished book 1. In fact, back then I called them chapters. I was thinking, it's chapters of a book, but then as I edited, I was like, it's more like books of the Bible. Let's roll with that. We'll call the movies books instead of chapters. So I launched book 1, which meant I had been editing for probably 3-4 months before here. So Yeah, it's been 3.5 years of this project. Where is this? But before then, I started with the sequel trilogy. I remember sitting in a hotel mid 2020 after episode 9 came out and just ruined me. And I just got an idea. I was just laying in the hotel bed on a work trip, talking to my cousin about. We rewatched episode 9. Neither of us liked it, and we watched it and said, "Yeah, that's as bad as I remember from the theaters." Well, then I just started thinking, could I fix this? And I started editing. I edited this project before The Way of Mandalore. I was a rookie in the re-editing world at this point, so this was my first deep dive into that, and I did a crazy amount of work in the whole sequel trilogy, which I'll probably revisit someday, my edits, and bring them up to speed, kind of like I've done for this final iteration of The Way of Mandalore. So I did those through 2021. I think I worked on Game of Thrones a little bit after that. I had a Marvel Avengers project that I actually... Man, I have so many freaking messages. What the heck? Yeah, I did Marvel Avengers 1 and 2 edit. And then I went to the Mandalorian. And it was mostly just, if you read my initial things, like, as I reflect on this is from 2021, what I said about this, 22, what I said about this project. I want to trim down the filler content. It's like good moments, but it does struggle with some things that hinder the pacing of the plot. I didn't want to remove entire episodes and just cut stuff out. I wanted to use pieces of everything and get just the important stuff in there. I wanted to maintain character consistency, especially with Boba Fett. That was a goal since day one. Deadly decisive, less confused, less talkative. And then Din, just like some of the levity didn't really fit at times, and got this idea of like the messiahs of the Mandalorian people, and then just things like preserving Din's face reveal for the end of season 2. And I've accomplished, I think, everything I set out to do and more, which is quite humbling. What's up, Punklahoma? How you doing? Thanks for dropping in. Where's my tab? I gotta find my chat. There we are. More excited for this than anything to come out of Hollywood? Dang. Thank you. I am too. Still never watched season 3, only your book 5? Hey. I wouldn't, unless you just want to do like a A-B comparison. There's no reason to watch the actual one. Those are my favorite Star Wars edits ever, which is saying a lot. That is saying a lot, probably more than I deserve. I appreciate it a lot. You've got there's different kind of edits. You've got the really technically impressive ones, like the Adawan ones of episode 4 and 5, and hopefully 6 one day. Those are just mind-blowing, but he spent like 20 years on those. I say this humbly, but I would submit The Way of Mandalore into the category of most transformative Star Wars edits. From an original IP to something so different. I'd submit mine for that, Emmy. I think I deserve a shot at that one. I'm trying to think of what are the other Star Wars fan edits that are like really transformative. I'd put the Eddie Dean Clone Wars project in that. As Goob finishes his Rebels one, that's going to be up there too. something that like takes the original and really just improves it in every way. And I mean, you got your classic, like, you know, HAL 9000 edits of the prequels. Those are good in their own right, but those would win like a different Emmy than what I'm talking about here, where I'm talking most transformative, top to bottom. Something that gives you a whole different experience with the content. Who are some others that we could highlight? It says, my buddy gave up on The Mandalorian 2, never watches Season 3. Told him you should give these movies a try instead. He says, I want to see it how it was intended. But yet he doesn't watch it because he knows he won't like it, so it's contradictory. Yeah, you gotta... Yeah, he's got a little problem there. I mean, if you want to see it as intended by a bunch of shareholders who hate you, I guess go for it if you're into that. I prefer good story and good content. I'm racking my brain trying to think of any other amazing fan edits that would kind of go side by side with mine. Let's see what all these people want. Is it bad to expose these DMs? Probably. I don't want. I must maintain privacy. Why does book 1 from my DMs? Why does only book 1 have subtitles? Because I haven't made the others yet. In fact, I didn't even make the ones for book 1. That was your boy Goob. As he gets time, maybe we'll get more. I'd love to get more subtitles. He's very good at them, using that program I never use. So, sir, I would love to get you subtitles one day for the entire thing. Can't promise it's on the front of the agenda. We got another message. I read your intent for the sequel trilogy. It sounds amazing. Could I get the links? Yeah. I'll send you the links. And then, greetings. Can I get the link to watch your edit of Obi-Wan Kenobi? I haven't released that. That's nowhere close to being done. Nowhere close. I'm sorry. I've got a thread up about it. I've released some, like, previews of it. Let's see if I can even find my freaking thread. I will soon. I'm going to show the final things I worked on in the movie. I'm really happy with it. Really happy with how the ceremony came out. Again, shout out to Shoya. Look at all this translation beauty he has done for me. So I'll show you the final touch-ups. And like, when I say the film is done, I mean I made it to the end of the runtime. Okay, I have the whole skeleton. It's done. Every scene is like in place, you know, barring I watch the whole movie on my TV and decide that probably should go before that. You know, there will be probably some minor scene swapping, some scene cutting. I would like to cut out another 5 minutes of this film, so I need to watch it and see what feels superfluous. I don't know just yet. This is a very long movie with thousands of changes. Like, this is 30 minutes. There's probably 1,000 changes in this 30-minute chunk, let alone the 3.5 hour monstrosity over here. So then I'm going to start reviewing things. And I still want suggestions. I'm still getting great feedback from people in my DMs with, like, last-second ideas. Some of them are really great. So I've got a few things to loop back on and do all that. So keep feeding me ideas. I want this to be as good as possible on release. My Kenobi edit. I can't find what freaking tab. Why do I not have? There we are. It's right in front of my eyes. So yeah, I started this like way long ago, man. If you want to read my ideas for it, and I released some demos some color grading and stuff that Alderaan. I mean, come on! Is that even a comparison? Which of those looks more like Alderaan? Especially if you have played Star Wars video games set on Alderaan, like, bro. So take a peek at my color grading and some of my ideas to see what I was going to do with Kenobi. Got some work prints and different scenes. And actually the biggest video on my entire channel is from Kenobi. So I will get back to it one day. It's up there. I absolutely, since I have, you know, a good chunk of it done. But I need Pixel Joker to finish first. He's the man. I still believe in him. I do. I still believe that'll come out. Alright. Friend isn't in the fan edit world exactly intended by the corporate storyboard. You changed it 3 times halfway through. Oh, yeah, probably 300 times halfway through. Quick energy break. Anyone know what that sound is? Any other men or women of culture in the chat? So last time I showed kind of the explosion scene and had to finish the ceremony. I mean, I don't know how much. I don't think I'm going to share a ton of this specific scene. Just because it's like 4 minutes long, and it's, you know, it's my new dialogue with the ceremony, but maybe you can just wait to see how that plays out. I think it's way more emotional than the Disney version. So much more. Where is it? Like, especially this moment. It's just it hits so much harder, I think, now. With the extended gap between their reunion and all that. I feel like Pixel's version is probably pretty similar to what you want with Obi-Wan. Yeah, I mean, it's more than I could have ever done or more than I could have wanted for it. I think I was exploring some ideas with Obi-Wan of, like, Leia doesn't get captured 2 times. So I was putting that all into one thing, and I have it edited so Obi-Wan is on that Mapuzo planet all by himself the entire time. You don't get that whole, like, re-loop, like, what, we just did this for 3 episodes and now we're doing it again for 2 more. So Leia gets captured on the Dayu, and then Obi-Wan gets, like, trapped on a transport that takes him to Mapuzo, and he's trying to get out so he can get to Leia. So there's, like, a different dynamic, which Pixel wasn't approaching it that way. So I'll have to see his and see if it... I mean, his might do everything I think needs to be done for that show anyways. So, but, he says he's going to release all his VFX for anybody just to use for free or anything, so be cool. Yeah, so we get this whole ceremony. I worked on that. I rebuilt all the audio, all the dialogue. And then I've got, like, a new sequence through here. Added some different scenes. So, like, we go from the thing awakening to... Sorry, I put really crap color grading on here just to tell me that I needed to fix it later. I've been struggling. What makes a shot more gray? How does Disney do that, like, drab filter? But since this was cut in a previous episode, I think it's really nice to see Grogu becomes Din's son, Din's apprentice. And then we're immediately now presented with him receiving his little chest piece, which never gets utilized. He gets this 4 episodes ago, and it's just gone. This is why I say this season was filmed completely out of order, with no plan, with no idea what Grogu was going to do. This thing just disappears for the rest of the season. So now, yeah, it works to put in the ending now, because we don't see it again. So I thought it was like a touching moment. Like, he's one of them. He's chosen this path. He's going to be a Force-sensitive Mandalorian who knows some Jedi lessons from Luke Skywalker, who is okay with that. So we've got this like really cool music playing behind. It's like Welcome New Mandalore. Rendering required files. Oh, are you now? I know old school EU fans don't like it, but seeing the moment Obi-Wan Vader lived was on my list of wants for an Obi-Wan movie for years before the show was ever a thing, so I was actually pleased that the series showed us that, because I think it's good drama. I forget what they're doing. You are correct that it is great drama. The execution of it in the show, I mean, Ewan McGregor did great with it. Like, you can sympathize with him hearing that. It doesn't make any sense. I don't care if you consider the EU dead and gone and pointless, you still can't justify how Obi-Wan is finding out this information 10 years later. Because the writers literally said in an interview they didn't know that Obi-Wan had heard Vader's name. He didn't know Vader. They didn't think Obi-Wan knew Vader was Anakin. And so that's why you get this like whole monologue from Reva of like, Anakin is Darth Vader and he's alive. It's ridiculous. But yeah, like empathizing with Obi-Wan Kenobi and feeling the emotions he feels in that moment in the show, I get it. You know, I as soon as I saw that, you know, me as a big EU guy, I'm pissed in the moment, but it's a good, yeah, like you said, it's good drama, 100%. So Pixel Joker is completely fixing that and taking the scene right out of the Kenobi, or the is it Dark Lord of the Sith? I can't remember. It's like the very end of one of those books. It's the Revenge of the Sith novel, Dark Lord of the Sith, or the Kenobi novel. The Kenobi novel set. Let me look that up. What book is this from? Yes, I know that's how it happens, but what freaking book is it in? Yeah, okay, I was calling it Dark Lord of the Sith. Dark Lord, The Rise of Darth Vader, yeah. So it's like, this is a phenomenal book if you haven't read it. But he finds it out like a few months after, because freaking Darth Vader's all over the news. Massacring Wookiees, hunting down, you know, Imperial traitors to the Galactic Empire and all. And Obi-Wan's not like completely cut off from all, you know, all people everywhere. He's I mean, even in the Kenobi show, he's going into town. He's hearing the news. He's hearing people talk. People talk about Darth Vader. And okay, you know, yeah, maybe 6 months, maybe a year could go by where he never hears the word Darth Vader. But you're telling me 10 years he never saw a single news broadcast? Like, Vader was infamous in the galaxy. And then people say, well, you know, it was established that he was infamous only in the EU. What? No, even in the Disney comics, literally like a couple days after Order 66, Darth Vader is standing next to Palpatine on an Imperial broadcast. and he's done plenty of other public stuff where people knew who he was. They have made him more of like a cloaked figure rather than a propaganda figure in the Disney universe compared to the EU, but he was known about it. He wasn't like a complete ghost figure. Anyway, they want to make $1 billion, do the Luke movie. Do Heir to the Empire. Yeah, Pixel's replicating it. I don't even like the idea of the HoloNet, to be honest. Mass communication is very vague in the Lucasfilm. Yeah, there's definitely... You could definitely throw in some logical questions about the functionality of the HoloNet. It's shown inconsistently throughout the movies in the EU. I mean, it changes a lot when the Empire comes into power and basically takes over the entire thing. But yeah, there was a lot of fast, instantaneous communication. I really liked how Mass Effect handled, that concept of the HoloNet, like information across galaxies. They have some really, really good lore pieces that make sense for a sci-fi world, I think, a little bit more than the Star Wars one does. So, yeah, here's the Mandalore song. Okay, so you kind of get that. This gets kind of cool here. I'll show this. I'm really hoping that the general public who watches this catches what I have done with this phrase in general. And I want them, they probably won't. Shoya probably already knows. There will be a few people who realize, and the people who are watching the stream right now, the word for blood in Mandalore. Let me pull it up. Torisha Taldin. Hold on. I'm fighting this. There we go. Come on, folks. Okay, so this phrase is family is more than blood. Elite Orishia Taldin. Okay, and I have put it in this section and in the section where we do Din's flashback of him as a boy. I hope it lands for people Din's name. So this phrase of Taldin, I want that to land for at least one person because I tried to punch that strong. So the word Taldin means bloodline, which is like, family. And what's important to Mandalorians, I use this phrase in Din's scenes, so I want that thematic connection for it to land with somebody who doesn't know Mandalore like Shoya. I want a plebeian to accidentally encounter this and say, every time they talk about like blood and bloodline, they're saying Taldin, Din Djarin. Okay, I want that to happen to one person. I tried to make it happen without being obvious. I've done many things like that in my film where, I don't want to... I hate the hand-holding that Hollywood does these days. I don't need a monologue. Oh, hey, guys, my name means this. No, give me hints. Some people will figure it out. Some people who don't, pay a ton of attention won't. All right, cool. Sparkling water. Highly recommend it. A little bit of lemon juice in there. Beautiful. It's like replaced soda for me. I was never a sugary drinks guy, so it wasn't that hard of a change. I would drink like the diets or the zeros before then, but sparkling water is much healthier in general. It won't wreck your gut long term. I'm in the camp of Lucas's 6 movies purists. I respect it. It's a solid position to hold, to just say, hey, I treasure the first 6 and maybe even a little bit of what George was involved in with the Clone Wars. Some of his, at least I vibe with some of the ideas he did in there. I mean, that's a very, very fair position. Me growing up with the EU, I never saw them as 2 different things. It was just, it just was Star Wars. I mean, the way it tied into the movies was so beautiful. It made me love the movies so much more. So to me, it was always just one blob. Just one big thing. There was no difference in the canonicity in my mind as I grew up and consumed that content. Really first learned about the Mandalorians playing KOTOR 1 and 2 when they came out. Very cool. That's a good introduction to them for sure. Hearing about the Mandalorian Wars, getting to travel with a Mandalorian, encountering some of the other clans around the galaxy. If they ever do this remake, I would love to see them develop the Mandalorian lore more in that. I would even be fine if they tie it into like the Disneyverse a little bit. If they feel so inclined, they can tie it directly into the Way of Mandalore. I won't even ask for royalties. I'm that generous. They can, Disney, I know you're one of the viewers right now. I know you watch every stream religiously for ideas. I'm telling you, yeah, when you do that, when you do the KOTOR remake, and I do believe it's going to happen, okay? That game will come out one day. It might be 2030, but it's going to. There's no better match made in heaven for that game than Larian Studios. I'm holding out super foolish hope that that's still going to happen, and that's why we've had all these delays, because they're like moving studios again. Larian has said, if you don't know Larian Studios, they made Divinity, Original Sin, into Baldur's Gate 3, which many people consider to be like a top 3 video game of all time. It's just the combat, the world building, the character building. It is a match made in heaven for Larian Studios. So, and Larian has said they have a mysterious, their next thing is like a mysterious project that they're already working on and that they're really excited about. People are speculating, is it going to be Divinity Original Sin 3? Which I kind of hope it's not. I loved those games for what they were. The lore and the world building in them wasn't my favorite. There were some cool ideas, but too much generic fantasy. I prefer some of the other fantasy worlds out there. I'd rather see them tackle Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones, something that already exists. If fantasy has been their go-to genre for RPG. But yeah. Your book 5 felt like a real deep dive into Mandalorian culture more than I had seen before, for sure. Yeah, it's even a big step up from the previous movies, which just like kind of show you the outskirts of Mandalorian lore, but then book 5 like takes you into it, which I think is about the only place the story could go after then. Like, Din completes this big mission. I loved the apostate idea, and now Din has to like find his identity in the world without Grogu, which just like completely changed his heart. That was a great idea to explore. They did the execution horribly. I mean, with reuniting, and the Book of Boba Fett was crap, and then most of Season 3 was crap, so yeah, and I took the minor lore they had included in Season 3, I multiplied that 100-fold in Book 5. So it's a big step up in lore from even Book 4 to Book 5. Book 6 is going to be a little less. I mean, look at like the subtitled sections. So you get some big moments, but I don't think it'll feel as overwhelming because there's so much else going on. Characters are traveling all over the place. We're wrapping up Din's story, Grogu's story, Boba's story, Bo-Katan's story. So there's a lot going on. It won't feel as much like deep dive into Mandalorian lore, but it'll be there, and what's there is very consistent with what you've seen. Don't know a lot about it. 6 movies and KOTOR were your Star Wars, essentially. Cool. Hey, you have the essentials with those. Though with KOTOR, my only issue is I think the 4K years is too far back to make sense. I agree. I have never liked the time scaling of from Tales of the Jedi. Let's look at this. I'm fine with Dawn of the Jedi being 25,000 years ago. I mean, this is like the discovery of the Force, basically. From the modern era. Of like, we're out of ancient history, like this time, where like there was different times. Time was like, we weren't even on our BBY calendar. So we're talking like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years ago, where the Celestials, the beings we see in the Clone Wars, the Mortis gods, like those type of characters are ruling the galaxy. So then, once we get like into the stories of the regular people, and we're in 25,000-ish BBY, I'm fine with that placement. I absolutely agree, and you're onto something, that all of this right from here through here, and if you include the Old Republic also, it's way too far before the movies. And you can see like the writers kind of realize that, because then you got these like 2,000 year jumps. Like I think 2,000 years ago max. Maybe I would probably prefer like 1,500 is when Knights of the Old Republic should be set. 1,500 before the Battle of Yavin. I want to think about the Old Republic like in real life how I think about the Roman Empire, right? I want it to be like, yeah, it was like recent enough where I can kind of envision it, but it's still a long time ago for me and my little pea brain. So yeah, I would, if Disney or the next company that owns Star Wars after Disney implodes decides to bring back the EU, I'd be okay with them just bump these up. There's just too many gaps and the gaps aren't utilized for much world building. I mean, the galaxy changes a lot between 3,600, like the end of the Old Republic, and 1,000 in the Knight Errant series, leading up to Darth Bane. But yeah, we could just eliminate this gap, right? Let's just set the Old Republic at like 2,000, 1,500, make it a few hundred years before Bane. So yeah, you're definitely onto something. Oh yeah, you said it feels like 1K years. Yeah, absolutely. You see my channel, I don't mind old games. In fact, I really like them, so I'd personally rather see a new story, KOTOR 3, or something else rather than a remake. I understand that. I think there's just potential with the remake to revive interest in the Old Republic era more than anything else. So I would love to see modern people be able to encounter it for the first time, which, a lot of people aren't like me and you, where they can handle old school games. I think KOTOR has aged very, very well for being a 23-year-old game. I think it's still very enjoyable in the modern era. In fact, I think it's quite refreshing to play sometimes compared to modern games. The old games were of their time, good enough for me. Yeah. Headcanon, I just pretend it's 1K to 1500 years. I had a new proposed timeline at one point. I can't remember where I put that. I will dig it up. It is somewhere in an old document or an old forum post where I did like make a whole headcanon timeline of like, okay, let's just eliminate these stupid gaps and let me put something together that would make sense to make KOTOR feel a little more relevant or modern. The movie shows so much drastic change between the trilogies. 4K years is laughable, but otherwise great content. Yeah, there just wasn't a ton of forethought into that, I don't think. I would absolutely keep like this whole thing. Where is it now? These ones, like the whole Freed and Nad and the Sith War. I think, you know, the stuff with Exar Kun that you hear about in KOTOR. I think that was good reference. Like, yeah, like 40 years ago we had a war, massive war, divided the Jedi, stretched us thin, and then the Mandalorians like jumped on the Outer Rim right after that. Like such a headache. So I think it was cool how they connected that, but you can't do that with KOTOR. Like anything past it, because you put too big of a gap, so you can't like make those galactic world building tie-ins as easily. All right, so yeah, so we go through this whole thing. And I've got my I threw I told you the crappiest color grading on here, just to like remind myself it doesn't look good enough as is. Make sure you give extra care to this one. So I just chucked a bunch of green and blue on it. I'm going to have to do like a side-by-side with her in this. But you see what I mean? Like it's... But I haven't color graded this yet either is my problem. So I don't know what this is going to look like. So yeah, this looks horrible compared to that. But yeah. Our dear Sabine... Our dear Boba. And then I reordered some of the scenes around here. So we've got the 4 Mandalore chants like fading into the background as we zoom in on the Mandalorian flag. Fade to black, and then we get our epilogue right after that. I'm still continuing the song. I think it just... I didn't want, like, too big of a gap, and the song just, like, blended in so well with the transitions and stuff. So that's, like, kind of the break that ends that soundtrack. When the door opens. And I didn't do as many changes to this as I thought I was going to do. Carson Teva, I like his character. The actor is not great. The performance he delivers throughout the entire show, I think he's actually decent like when he's in the X-Wing. But whenever he's like doing his casual performance, I think it's... I would say, no hate to the man, it's the weakest performance I've seen in the entire Mandalorian show. And Gina Carano had some weak moments too. I'm just talking pure acting talent. Like some of his reactions in this and his deliveries are so bad I had to cut them. I thought I was going to do more to the story in this section. But I only made some very, very minor edits and removals of bad deliveries or things that I thought were unnecessary. I'm okay with what Din proposes, and I didn't like it at first, I still think it's a little corny. It makes sense a little bit. And when I watched, like, the final 10 minutes straight through of my movie, I was like, yeah, it kind of fits. I don't have to butcher it as much as I thought I was going to. Okay, I need to put a transition into here. I just need like a wipe transition to take us back to Navarro. I'm making less of a big deal about the whole IG-11 thing. I have minimized it as much as possible. Both in the earlier movies and at the end of this one. But I just suspect so strongly he's going to be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Or he's going to have some role or somewhere. So I at least wanted to show, like, okay, there is another IG character walking around that Din and Grogu will probably encounter in the future. But I minimized this scene as much as possible, so you just get, like, one shot of Din looking off into the distance at it. And then you're back at the home. This thing ends real soft. There you go. And then I did pick my credits song. So what am I going to work on tonight? Like I said, I really don't have much other than tiny additions and ideas that come along as I rewatch the thing, or all my transitions I gotta fix and sound balancing and stuff. What the heck? Freaking Microsoft Auto News. You mouse over that for like half a second and it just blasts you with like magazine style crap. Trump baby blimp. Colin Kaepernick. Supreme Court. Okay. It's annoying. Freaking world propaganda. So I honestly, I might just work on the credits tonight and just keep chatting. Yeah, if you see the title of the video, stay tuned. Okay. Got plans, but we're just hanging out and chilling. I'll probably just work through the credits and get that. Let me get the soundtrack. I found the soundtrack I wanted. That would be this puppy right here. This is embarrassing. I lost my logo. I could not find it anywhere. I know I still have it. Look at that. No, that's not it. Oh, that's the one I just did. Yeah. I don't know. I can't. I'll have to go back to one of my old movies and find it. Like in my project library. I can't remember what I named it. I searched like logo. I searched everything I could think of. I cannot find the file for this logo. Because I have three. I have the regular skull. I got the one with only the lightsaber, and then I've got the blended one. Dun, 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 dun. Well, the time scale thing, to me, it's a similar issue to people who keep saying new characters, new eras, because they feel the universe is too small. But my opinion is I would rather have one era and a set of characters that are deep rather than several eras and characters that are paper thin. So I like seeing Luke and Boba and Anakin and Obi-Wan a lot. I block all the news outlets. Oh, okay. Separate thought. Yeah, absolutely. And there's a few sections of the EU. Oh my gosh, I have too many tabs open already. How did I do this so? Let's combine some of these. Do I have another DM? No. And then we can kill this one. Yeah, that timeline I showed, like, I would love for them to just pick another, like, 30 to 40 year era, such as like let's do before Knights of the Old Republic, like let's cover the Ulic Keldroma and the Exar Kun storyline. We'll run that for 40 years, and in real life, like that will be the focus of our next 10 years. Like they really, they do need to move to new characters, but they've proven that they can't make up their own stuff. They don't think about it long enough. They don't have a plan when they start executing. How about we just follow a formula of something that's already great in Star Wars, that it's not going to mess up your own Disneyverse. Just try it. Pick an era, pick something you know people would like, and then just say, yeah, the next 10 to 12 years, we are telling this story over the course of 6 movies and a tie-in show. And leave it at that. And you can still do your like animation stuff, like the Darth Maul thing. Still do the little supplemental things, maybe like another project akin to Skeleton Crew or something, just innocent and fun. Keep that vibe going, but yeah, they gotta. As much as I love the Skywalker saga characters, and there are still a lot of stories you could tell inside there, you know, if you got to do what George did, like he went to a new era, a prequel era, and he made all new characters, and people resonate with those characters. Disney tried to do it on their own, didn't work. So, yeah, just go back to something we love. But I would like them to pick a new era that already existed and go with it. Darth Bane, early Tales of the Jedi, Dawn of the Jedi. Like, they're going to do one Dawn of the Jedi movie and then move on. Like, you're not going to get people to care about the brand new Dawn of the Jedi characters in one single movie, and then you're done. No. Star Wars is a saga. It's an epic. It's a saga. That's what you gotta do. I block all news outlets. Very nice. I respect that. I love working on credits. Actually timing it with the music, etc. is very satisfying. Yeah, it can be cool to do that. Mine's pretty formulaic for the Way of Mandalore, how I've had it. I just roll through the concept art as they go. And I roll the concept art just according to the chronology of the movie. So, like, our first credit scene will be Grogu training with Luke. Then we'll get the Mandalorian adoption ceremony. Then some Boba stuff, you know. I'll just go straight through here, and this credit's going to be long, which is why I picked a 7-minute song. This song is very fitting. It pays homage to many different characters and aspects of Star Wars lore. Okay, so like you start with the Mandalorian note, but then almost instantly so you're getting the Clone Wars theme into Vodeon. Yeah, so they just like roll. It's like big thing to capture a lot of the different characters and Mandalorian influenced songs. Though to be honest, I want to edit your movies to have the classic build-up music, circle transitions, Star Wars theme. Your movies do seem to match Clone Wars refocused for sure. Yeah, I mean, lore-wise, it should match out with the Clone Wars project by Eddie Dean, as well as some new stuff by Goob that he's still developing as tie-ins to the Way of Mandalore. So there will be this amazing experience of Clone Wars Rebels and Mandalorian that all projects will be synced up together. I know Eddie Dean and Goob have been connecting on some stuff as well to unify their projects. So it should flow very smoothly from animation to live action. You know, especially with like the character of Bo-Katan, who's so important in those shows and era. What's up, Prisms? You never watched Rebels at all? Whoa. Watch the Goobinators. That is Star Wars Rebels recut. Fan edit. It's very, very high quality. I've worked on a couple things for him in it, as he has helped me and worked on some things in the Way of Mandalore. So he has done just unbelievably incredible work. I mean, like adding planets, recolor grading stuff. When I say recolor, I mean like completely transforming a planet into a planet from the EU that has like stuff that has KOTOR ties. If you haven't seen this, he like remade this whole episode into like a movie form that has so many tie-ins to Knights of the Old Republic, especially Knights of the Old Republic 2. There's an example, right? So he turns it into a planet from KOTOR 2. I mean, look at that color grading. It looks just like the video game now. Even with like the art style of the background, like how they do those skyboxes in old games, it's really cool. And he uses soundtrack for certain moments in those episodes as well. So this is the only way to watch Rebels. Absolutely. I was never a big Rebels fan. I thought it was good. It's like a 7 out of 10 show, but it had some very, very kid-focused episodes that were not great quality. So this is the way to watch it. Prism. So, what is Star Wars? What is Clone Wars Refocused? Did I watch any films today? Clone Wars Refocused is the project by Eddie Dean. This is just the essential way to watch the Clone Wars show. There's no other way you should do it other than watching this one. I've got it bookmarked. I mean, just go through this. Just go through the list. Ding, ding, ding. Download all this stuff right there. Bing, bing, bing. The amount of work that has been put into this is just like unhinged in its glory. Where is it? I can't remember where he hides his change logs. A lot of them are in the form of what he did for like each episode. There's a lot of discussion. Well-deserved 104 pages of discussion. Yeah, don't ever watch Clone Wars any other way but this. So good. Did I watch any films today? I did not. My kids were watching the old Robin Hood cartoon before bed. I was setting up my stream. I watched a few minutes with them. We played a lot of board games tonight. Went out and got ice cream. Got a cool like rooftop ice cream place around my house. So did that and then put on Robin Hood, watched a few minutes, and they were falling asleep, so I went to go stream. If I do, it will definitely be Goobs. Yeah, for sure. You should, if you do decide to watch that, having like following a timeline to watch Andor and Rebels together is really cool because they like interweave. I don't know if you liked Andor or watched it, but yeah, zooming back and forth between those is a really fun way to do it. So just like find a kind of like that timeline I had pulled up earlier that shows like when does this Andor episode take place compared to this Rebels episode and match up Goob's episodes with that. It'll be good. Have you found any new inventive episode 9 edits? None new. I mean, have you looked through this? So on Original Trilogy, they have an index of projects, and you can... I mean, you literally go project by project and find, like, every fan edit ever made for that thing. So, is it Rise of Skywalker? So there's like a lot of different ones. There's mine. Mine's on the list. Not sure how many of these you have watched. Like the one we've talked about before, Journal of the Wills and The Legend of the Solo Twins, I would say are the two most transformative out there. They're good. I wouldn't say they're like my go-tos. Just some like production quality reasons. But not many people have really tackled that movie because in many aspects it's kind of hopeless. but here's a big list. I mean, you can read what everyone has attempted to do. The ones I mentioned earlier are the most transformative ones. A lot of these do the same exact thing, and they, to me, you can't have a Star Wars movie under 2 hours. It feels wrong, and a lot of these just like The Rise of Skywalker is already so short, or so fast paced, I should say. Like you're moving at hyperspeed and can barely stay with the plot because it's moving so fast on a pointless journey, but. A lot of the edits just like cut out like 30 minutes, and then it's just like, what are we doing here? This movie needs to be 40 minutes longer, not 40 minutes shorter. How do we film new stuff? Where's my deleted scenes for this movie? Yeah, a lot of them just try and cut Palpatine out entirely. I think Wookiees, Rebels, and More will be up there for the most transformative ones. When he gets to that, but yeah. They do have a nice motion comic of the Duel of the Fates if you're interested in seeing what was like cut. I don't know if you've read this, the old Colin Trevorrow script for it. Like that whole thing is like out there in the public, so somebody drew comics for the entire script.
Body.
3PO, we have to move.
And then they like voice acted the whole thing, so you can go through and kind of see the script of
carried by the Force.
What Episode 9 should have been. It's so much better than it has its problems still in this, but it was like a draft that Disney rejected. And I hate this button on YouTube. Who uses this? Yes, I want to autoplay a random video after that as I'm watching this video right now. Right next to my play button. Put it as close as possible so I accidentally go to a new video. Freaking YouTube. Bum, 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 bum. I like Andor pretty well, but with all the Star Wars TV series, I do not like the filler. Yeah, Andor's got some bad filler. Season 2, Episode 1, 2, and 3. Could have been one episode in my mind. There was a couple in Season 1, yeah, that also could have been cut down. Andor would be fun to edit into movies. I would love to do that someday. Hey, what's up, Hardwick? Have you seen the Katie Sackhoff interview where she talked about the emotional toll playing Bo-Katan? Yes, I did. It was a pretty short article. I think there were a lot of headlines, like just trying to clickbait around that. She said like a few sentences that was like normal actor struggles, like playing a Star Wars character halted her career in other ways. Essentially is what she said. And yeah, it's true. That happened to Hayden Christensen. There's been a few that have broken out of the mold. Daisy Ridley did not. She's been in a couple like smaller time things that didn't get good ratings. And I didn't think she had that horrible of a performance or anything in Star Wars, but her career kind of halted because of Rey, as has happened with many people who try to take on Star Wars characters. So, I mean, the other stuff she's been in, a lot of voice acting, a lot of 5s, 4s, 6s, and then Rey. I mean, that's like all she's done. She hasn't had like another giant role. I mean, there's like video game narrator. She's got a nice voice. I can see why she gets that. This was like supposed to be her new big thing, and it's sitting at a 5.2 right now. So she is experiencing what many other Star Wars actors have experienced before. Some have not gotten caught in that mold. Like Harrison Ford did amazing. Ewan McGregor has done well since then too. It kind of took him a while to get back on track though. But in his older age, he's made some good new stuff. But yeah, Katie Sackhoff, I mean, she was saying like she didn't feel Bo-Katan in her gut. It was like such a different character than she was used to playing or used to being in real life. I don't think she's like a phenomenal actress in general. So, I mean, she said like she's not good at auditions. I think she does better voice acting than acting in person also. I think she's cool. She's super chill. I've watched some of her interviews. I'm a fan of hers. But yeah, I don't think she's like a super dynamic and overly talented actress in general. Maybe she'll keep improving. But she says like she didn't get a job for 3 years basically. That sucks. I have seen Journals of the Will yet, but not Legends of the Twins or Mine. You need to. Yeah, give those two a shot. Those would be the most transformative ones I would recommend. Mine, which is Legacy of the Jedi, and then the Legend of the Soul of Tins is unique as well. I need to change this picture because I actually at the end changed all his lightning to red. But yeah, I got a big change list if you want to see what I did. I agree on the 2 hours. I think it is okay for if you're cutting an animated film, but for live action, I think it needs to hit 2. Absolutely. Oh yeah, 100%. Animation is a different world. A Star Wars movie that is in theaters especially needs to be 2 minimum. Oh, that's cool. Like the Legacy Expo. I was talking about this in my last stream. The Star Wars Re-Expanded. They set up a booth. I didn't know that. That's cool. You should check Hollywood Handle. The Mando and Grogu trailer is ready. Yeah, I've seen a lot that it's ready and they're sitting on it because of the Jimmy Kimmel news and American politics in general. They'll just release the freaking trailer. Give people something else to do other than get obsessed with the news all the time. Let's get us talking about some other stuff. I mean, a lot of very. I'm not trying to like. I've talked about it on my other stream. The violence has really brought me down recently too. I don't want to overlook it, but I don't think we have to stop all art. Like art is how people heal from dealing with this stuff. So release it, Disney. Release the trailer. It's going to be the same trailer that already got shown in Celebration with probably 2 new 3-second scenes. So I'm not like sitting on the edge of my seat for this at all. It's going to be what I've already seen that I was not really impressed with. Can you leak me to the episode 9 edits page you were on? Oh, link. Yes, link. I can leak it to you. I don't necessarily need to leak it because it is just on the internet, but yes, I'll send it to you right now. And you've seen the script and art. Cool. Oh, yes, you did correct yourself, Link. I was confused. I have some good ideas to make Andor into 1 movie per season, more so the first season. The second would be cutting it down. It's hard to turn a season into a movie. It's really hard to do just 1. That's why, like, The Mandalorian, I've done 2 per season. like Smudger has done the best I've seen at turning it into one, but I feel like you still miss a lot of the character development. Shows are just built different. If you rush them and try to make them like a movie and take too much content and shrink it down, you're gonna miss some of that slow growth. And I would find characters like vibing with each other when they didn't have any build up or experience, and it's just like, well, okay, where did they get this friendship or chemistry from all of a sudden? It wasn't there 5 minutes ago, but it's because a fan editor cut out 2 episodes entirely. Cutting Andor down to 1 movie would be very hard. Very, very, very difficult. I did not rewatch season 1. Did I? I don't think I did. So I've only seen it all the way through once. And I really like it. Cool. Alright. Let's go into some credits here. Let me get the concept art. Where the heck is that file? I'm going to have to open one of my old projects. I need my book 5 project. Oh, that's gross. That's tough. Oh, it's trying to conform and download everything. No, don't wreck my hard drive. Just let me grab this one. Come on. Zoom out. Come on, you can do it. You're a 4080 Super and a 14900K. You can zoom out. I know you can. It doesn't take that much processing power. I got 64 gigs of RAM. Come on, zoom out. Come on. Come on, Adobe. It's trying. It's struggling. Come on. I know it's a lot of cuts. I know there's so many improvements you're trying to sort through, but come on. Where is... This is it. Come on! Oh, this is like crawling. Okay, the file's just called The Mandalorian Season 3 Concept Art. Can I find... Is it going to show me where it is? It's my metadata. Where is it? I know it's... There we are. E, where it downloads 1. Okay. Let's close this. Good. Stop downloading. Ooh, what was I cooking here? Why do I have clouds? I was trying to build something. I was trying to make like a new angle and then have the Slave One like pop out of the clouds and fly towards the screen. I still want to find some way to do it. I need like an establishing shot of the Slave One for when Axe Woves gets rescued by Boba Fett. Because I got the shot of him. Did I show this yet? I don't think I've shown this to anyone. I've shown it to like a few people over DMs, but yes, I did get Axe Woves flying out. Breaks out, does that, and then I have him getting inside the Slave One. Cool. But I wanted like another establishing shot of like maybe to go like right here. Give me like 2 seconds, cover up this, and I want like the Slave One flying downwards in atmosphere, like towards the camera. So we get the sense that it's like tailing this thing. So it doesn't just like come out of nowhere. Oh, there it is. I have dialogue set up that that's what Boba's gonna do. Like fly in, but I think an establishing shot will connect it a little better, and then I could put it like a tiny Slave One like way up in the distance here. Nobody's gonna see it. But you probably wouldn't even I mean, he'd be gone by then. I don't think he would be visible in this hole necessarily. Jedi Fonz, what's up? Thanks for dropping by again. Hi, dude. Evening. Would you consider, after completing this, to work on Andor? As in, give it more aliens, replacing some smaller humans like the healing lady with an alien, and add aliens into the prison. I would consider Andor. I mean, there's a couple ways to approach what you're talking about. I mean, if someone would have to be extremely talented in VFX to pull that off, like adding aliens into important scenes or replacing characters with other alien characters. One day, AI will be able to do that. You know, I will be able to take Snoke and feed all of his scenes into this AI program and upload a model of Darth Plagueis and say, replace this video footage of this character with this character, and it will do it flawlessly. Like that world is coming. We're still probably 5 to 10 years away from that level of technology, I would say. I'm not good enough at just standard 3D rendering and character animation to do anything believable. I mean, my process is I can take something into Photoshop and kind of run it through like different AI programs to get it to move the way I want. But I am I don't know how to add aliens like that would look quality like a finished CGI Hollywood rendering. You need a team on that. Great idea. I would I've thought about, if I edit Andor, what would I do? I would, for the prison specifically, I know I'd have something over the dialogue from the Imperials or some of the other prisoners that, like, this is the human prison and the other aliens are segregated in their own because the Empire didn't want, like, species causing tension with each other and fighting and slowing down the workforce. And I think, like, the technology of, like, the floors electrocute or whatever and kill you, it's, like, tailor-made for a barefoot human. I don't know if it would... There's probably some species that wouldn't necessarily be affected by that as much. So I think it's fine for that to be a human-only prison, but I don't think they didn't really develop that idea. But yes, you are correct in that the biggest downfall of Andor, even more so than like the slower parts, was the lack of aliens. I agree. Message retracted from Palindrome. You hate to see it. You hate to see a retracted message. Heck. I wanted a link. Oh, to the all episode. Oh, yeah, sure. To the question in the DMs, Prisms. I probably won't release that before the movie is out. I've shown enough of it already on my streams. I don't want to just like release whole clips of my new stuff on my YouTube channel or anything before the movie's out. Like once the movie's out, I'll start posting stuff from my movies onto my YouTube channel, but I got to keep some elements of surprise. I don't want to leak like the key scenes. But there's plenty of previews in my previous streams if you skip around and find where I was working on that. I showed chunks of it. All right, so I found at least the name of my concept art. And I have now found le file. It's actually going to be pretty freaking challenging. I'll be jumping. Ouch. Why is that so bright? Mine eyes. Ah, crap. I need the Book of Boba Fett concept art, too. Darn. Darn. Where... Now I have to find where that is. That's probably also in my last movie. Alright, let's open this toxic file again that tries to blast my computer with AIDS. Please. Look how many changes there are. Ooh, it's a beautiful sight. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I know I have at least one image of Book of Boba Fett in here. Yes, there it is. Alright, check your metadata. What you got? Oh my gosh, this file is just log jammed. That is in, wow, Star Wars edits, Mando. Okay, close this before it infects my computer. Get rid of that down there. Come on. No! It's a stupid glitch. I don't know if you can see that. See how it still says conforming down there? It's supposed to stop doing that when you close out of the project, and I have had it multiple times where it doesn't stop. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and it slows down the computer so freaking much. Elite Orisha Taladin. Alright, E. What did I say? E. Star Wars edits Mando. The Book of Boba Fett Season 1 concept art. Found it. Disney's probably going to delete my channel because I played that 3 seconds of his theme. Fett! Dun 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 dun. Hum da da dum da da dum 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 dum. Probably delete my channel for that because it sounded so close to the real theme song. Copyright detector is going to get that one. Bum ba dum bum. What else is going on with you guys? Give me some updates about you. Working on anything? How's stuff going in life? Any like big things coming up for you? You have any questions for me on Star Wars? Life in general? What you got? Alright, let's pull in this concept art. And then we start digging into the puzzle that is getting this in the right chronological order from the Disney version now into my version. So I know the last movie I had the one of Grogu sitting like in the river. But now I need like anything else that has to do with... I need to add my Yavin birds too. I'm right here. I might as well add some Yavin birds. It's Yavin bird time. We got any bird watchers in the chat? Look at this too. Look, see, I got my Andor files ready to go. if I ever want to do an Andor edit. Dun, 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 dun. Where's my freaking... How's that showing that? I'm not even on that. Beautiful, dude. Freaking love Yavin. That's where I need the birds. Let's get some birds right here. Bum, 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 bum. Where the heck is my file? Where's my bird file? Where the heck is my bird file? I swear it was right here the other day. The heck? Where did that go? Why is it zipped again? I had it unzipped. What? I had that freaking unzipped. I was using it the other day. Yeah, we'll unzip it again. Oh my goodness, 1,000 files. What the heck? What's going on? What is this? How is it not all of them? If I already have them all in the... How is it some of them? Okay, I guess skip them? Just give me my birds, bro. After I finish my 2 movies, I'm going to go back to this channel. Nice. Punklahoma channel. Good. Keep that thing rolling. Did you watch Adult Swim in the 2000s? I want to give Punklahoma that vibe. Like watching a TV station, bumpers with cool music and images, broaden what my channel covers. That's cool. Adult Swim in the 2000s. Pretty sparing. I grew up in a household that was like, you're not allowed to watch SpongeBob. So, Adult Swim was definitely off limits. Other than me just like seeing it at like friends' houses and stuff. Trying to get a sense of the vibe. I'd watch Robot Chicken, the Star Wars stuff, on YouTube. Wow, I've never heard of that one. Yeah, like I don't know any of these. I wouldn't really even know like what the vibe was. What the heck? Oh, that's the movie? The movie was on Adult Swim? There's no way. I want to see a video of this vibe.
All kids out of the pool for Adult Swim. All kids out.
Nice.
The church!
Shut up! Oral, leave your little brother alone.
Sorry, Mom.
Cool. That's like kind of adjacent to what your channel already does, so I like the idea.
Superman Returns, and you guys at home don't want to miss that.
Yeah, it's like broadening what you already do. Nice. Yeah, that's your vibe. That is the Punklahoma aesthetic. Cool. Alright, so let's find my birds. Are those in ambience? How do these sound? I remember that noise. Just different cockpit noises. Bird, bird, bird. Which bird do I want? All of them? Trying to find like more of the alienistic ones. That sounds like my backyard. That one's cool. I like that. So let's get vibing with some birds. And then we've got this Yavin exterior file. It's got some of the birds like in the background. I could throw it in there like pretty quiet maybe. It's got a little too much like white noise. How loud is this bird going to be? Come on. I hit play many moons ago. Would the bird decide to crash my entire movie? I gotta find like the right spot to put that in. Probably make it a little quieter too. Just some beautiful Yavin, man. That's all it is. Guatemala. Here on Earth. That's where they filmed it, down in Guatemala. Yeah, that fits in well there. Nice. Yeah, that fits in well how I have it. Cool. Maybe get one more bird chirp in. I think I like... Yeah, that one I like a little bit. Put that one in like really quiet in the middle. Cool. I got my Yavin birds. Just for a throwback to Jedi Academy. Why are we watching Adult Swim? That's not family friendly. It's just like a couple seconds of a video. I'm not dropping F-bombs in my stream or anything. Listen, I was in the army. I've heard a lot. Wow, if I tell you to type in something, it deletes my message. 30 seconds? I thought you were saying, like, watch 30 seconds of something. Is that like a show? Adult Swim 30 seconds. This? Which one? It is deleting what I'm telling you to look up. That's so annoying.
Nostalgia, known. A sentimental longing or wistful affection for the past, typically for a period or place.
Was Dexter's Lab on Adult Swim? I did watch it. I thought that was Cartoon Network. I don't know what to look up. Freaking YouTube and their censorship, man. You need a droid to help you organize your files. You're worse than me for losing stuff. I am bad. Yeah, I am very bad at file organization. There's no doubt. But it lets G3. Yeah. You can't say type. Something. Can you like find a sneaky way to tell me what to look up? Like, I don't know, change the spellings of something that I can kind of figure out what you're trying to say. Give it to me in like a poetic form, in like a puzzle form that I can solve and then find the answer. Oh, here we go. Bumpers, swim, watch 30 seconds. Like Bumpers Adult Swim. If I search that, is this what I get? Best bumps? Is bumps a bad word or something? Oh. Okay, yeah, just like these little breaks and stuff. I love that vibe. That's fun. So are you like trying to make your own, like, humorous ones? Go older than this? Okay. Like the okay, this is probably more the era you're in. Yeah, that like retro vibe. Cool. Are you thinking like stills like this or videos? Wow, that does look creepy. 14 years ago. Nice. That's cool. Famous optical illusion. If you're making stuff like this, that's this is like really good animation. Yeah, these are dang. These are trippy. What the heck? Elephant centipede? Oops, I didn't mean to get out. I wanted to see that last one. Some Microsoft thing. Heck yeah. I don't know why these make me laugh. They're just like so weird. Yeah, exactly. Cool. That would be fun. Yeah, putting that around your videos, that would be nice. You got to go all in with YouTube. I have raised up. This is like my fourth YouTube channel, and I got the other ones like 10K, then 20K, and then I was only like a part-time editor on another one, so I can't take credit for that. But I think they just hit 300K now. The thing with YouTube is consistency, and everything I'm saying I'm not doing on my AC Bagel channel, just because I'm not like super focused on channel growth. If you actually like want to live the dream and have it succeed, you've got your identity really well already. Actually, you've got like the big picture game plan. The number one thing I'd recommend is just consistency. Like you gotta have. YouTube's a little different where it doesn't demand as much content. It wants well, you either have to feed it like a lot of content. Usually in the beginning, you do need to post more often, but once your videos start like catching in the algorithm, it would rather them be quality and get more views. But to like build yourself up for the first at least 10 to 20K subs consistency is the number one thing. And you got to get it in your mind. The number one reason people's channels don't succeed is because they don't stick with it. And succeeding looks different to everyone. I get it. No, but also like 5,000 subscribers is a lot. Okay, that is 5,000 human beings that think you are entertaining enough to have your videos pop up on their phone as you post them. Like, get it. Like, I know our minds are like warped looking at these giant 10, 12, 14 million subscriber channels. 5,000 is a lot. That's cool. I mean, like, imagine a comedian going to perform at little, you know, little shops and stuff. An audience of 5,000 is huge. Like, think of them as real people. You know, I got 4 people watching this stream right now out of 1,950 that follow my channel, but, you know, all of them are real people. So don't get caught up in the big numbers. And then that consistency, the number one reason people's channels fail is they don't stick with it. You got to get it in your mind from the get-go. This is going to take me 2 to 3 years. If you're trying to do anything shorter term than 2 to 3 years, it will fail. You might, I can't say will, you might get super lucky and one of your videos just snags onto the algorithm. I wouldn't count on that. I wouldn't anticipate that. That's not your goal. You want very slow growth over a 2 to 3 year period to get up to around 10K subscribers with good, funny, you know, cool vibe content. That's kind of your style. You're working on these like short films now. Like, those can be a good mix to put into your channel and stuff as well. But that's kind of where like the dream starts. And once you get to that like 10 to 20K range is where you can start to then plan for, hey, I might actually have like a future with this. Like that's where you need to start thinking, if I give it my all now, maybe I could do this full time one day. And you start to scale it more seriously. Like when I got one of my channels to 20K, I started getting like sponsorship stuff. Like, people were emailing me. And so that, you know, that starts to get you thinking, hey, I could do this if I really wanted to. I decided I didn't want to. I went into the Army instead. And then I went and did some other work, and I'm very happy with where I'm at. I have fun on this channel. But if you want your channel just to be like a fun thing where you hang out and post stuff as it pops into your mind, yeah, I mean, that's awesome. As long as you enjoy doing it and you're having fun, you got some people who watch it who have fun, even if it's, you know, gets 40, 50, 60 views. That's still a lot of people. Like, that's a packed house in a comedy club. So that's cool. If your goal is, I want growth. I want to build like a community and make some comedy and tell some stories. I really want to do this. Get it in your mind. I got to commit to 2 years to get where I kind of want to be. So that's the number one reason. Everybody thinks they're going to blow up. It's not how it really works. You can get super lucky. Like one of my cousins has been trying to do a YouTube channel for quite a while, focused on Disney content. They got super lucky at one point and had a video hit like, how many freaking views did that get? I don't want to dox them, but I'm going to look on my other monitor. Where is this? 2.1 million. Okay, out of nowhere. They hit 2.1 million views on a video. Now they haven't posted something on here in 7 months. Okay, so you can kind of see how that goes. They got up to 9K subscribers, like, pretty quickly because they got super fortunate and were at the right place at the right time. and had a 2 million, and that's on YouTube alone. It got like another 4 or 5 million on Facebook. So you can get lucky with that stuff. You cannot bank on it though. Let's see. Yes, I dived into the film world this year, so my channel got sidelined, and that's okay. This channel I have sidelined multiple times also. But I got to work with some movie stars, which was cool. Very nice. Yeah, that's fun. In this job I'm at now, doing advertising, I've been able to meet some Hollywood folks and some sports players and stuff. Not like A-list, more B-list celebrities and figures. I might at some point get a chance to do a thing with Matthew McConaughey. That would be cool. One of the companies he owns were like in the talks for getting a contract with them. So we don't even know if like he would be in the commercial we write, but he has been in some of theirs before, and it's possible. So that's a huge might, but we don't even have that contract or anything now. But yeah, more. It's fun. I mean, I love storytelling and video production and making people smile and stuff. Have you seen the trailer for the upcoming film The Lost Bus? It's intense. I have not. Take a peek. The Lost Bus trailer. Dang. Trailer 2. Matthew McConaughey? Nice. I'll have to check that out. I don't want to watch the whole thing because I'm scared of the soundtrack behind it. That looks intense for sure. Cool. I'm excited to dive back into it 100%. I want to make that commitment. I know it's a long game. Nice. Well, you got the mindset. I think you have your identity established on your channel now. Yeah, that's just about making it happen. And make sure you have fun with it. It's... In life in general, it's so easy to have short-term passions for hobbies or interests or people or faith. Like, there's a natural temptation of the human heart to just like almost move from thing to thing to thing. It's hard to stick with one thing for a long time, but the long-term rewards of that, the benefits are much better than pursuing short-term things. So hey, you're looking good. Like I'm looking at your old stuff. I know we talked about this in DMs once, but yeah, like your view to subscriber ratio's fine for now. It'll get better as you post more, but it's a solid start. Can I link my bro's Disney Channel? You know what I'll do, Prisms? I will DM it to you. The problem is they've... if I send it to you, I'm going to dox myself. But I'll just DM you the channel. I don't care if you know who I am. And I'm doing a face reveal tonight anyways. I mean, I'll get doxxed anyway, so there you go. Should I do that now? Is it time? Like, talking about channels and growth and stuff. Should I just do it now? Should I rip the Band-Aid off? Any tips for my Prism's Media Spotlight channel? Is that different than this one? The Collection Center? Do you have a different Media Spotlights one? I haven't really looked through this one in detail before. Nice. I gotta watch this one. Heck yeah, I'm throwing that on my watch later. You got 5 channels. It's a good thing God is more faithful than we are. Amen, brother. I 100% agree. Absolutely. I'd be long gone if that were not the case. Long gone. Search Prism's Media Spotlight. Alright, let's check this out. Prism's Media Spotlight. Alright, let's do a quick little audit. When did it start? 2 years. Okay. A lot more in the recent months. Nice. Let's do like trailer reactions. Cool. That one did really well. I mean, if you hit a point where your video gets more views than subscribers, and you have like multiples that are like right there or above, how often you haven't? So you post maybe like on average once a week, but it's been a month on this one. I mean, I think how you were doing it from like these months is pretty good. I would, if I were you, look for some thumbnail guides. I'm trying to see these, just how you name stuff. You've done really well with like the series, like having a Prism Reviews, a Prism Reacts. So that's good. Seems like your reviews usually do pretty, or like your highlights. Nice. Yeah, don't stop. If you want this one to grow, keep going. Sometimes your videos, like when it does this, you just got to eat it. Just forget about it, move on. Okay, it's like, it's no different than the other ones you were doing. Like, why did one get 6 and one got 409? I would say this thumbnail's pretty good compared to some of the other ones. Make your stuff stick out. Look up some guides on it. Thumbnails are annoying, man. I know they're annoying to make, they're annoying to manage, but they're so freaking important too. Use the YouTube function also. That's like, I don't think it'll let me. Yeah, where it's like test these 3 thumbnails. Ideally, you should make 3 of them and feed them all to YouTube and say, pick the best one. And it'll test each of them. It'll find one it likes, and it'll chuck it in the algorithm more. Yeah, well, we can talk about it in DM sometime. That's my initial reaction, though. Like, you've got good ratios for your stuff. Just about that consistency. It's hard. It's really hard. I would also say really brainstorm what makes you and your channel unique compared to others. Why should somebody pick Prism's Media rather than the other 30,000 media channels out there? Probably more like a million. Really just like in your mind, just like, and make sure it's authentic too. People will see right through it when you just like assume the social media personality, and then that's kind of like game over. You gotta figure out what genuinely makes you unique as a person that you want to share with others, and then roll from there. Alright, I got my birds in. Swinging my Grogu training videos. I'm talking about all this social media. Is it face reveal time? Should I do it? Should I work on trailers or credits? Alright, let's rip the band-aid off, you know? Let's just do it. Since we're so close to being done with this movie, this might be my last stream, like, editing. I'll do more streams for sure. There will be more editing streams in the future, but for the Way of Mandalore, it's like the last traditional one for a while, so I can finish this thing. Alright. Let me make sure all this is set up correctly. Da, 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 da. Come on. And then... Alrighty. I think it's set up correctly. Let me turn the camera on.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
This transmission has been intercepted by order of the Galactic Empire with cooperation of our most trusted partner, Disney Incorporated. This unauthorized distribution of The Way of Mandalore is strictly forbidden. You are instructed to immediately disengage from the stream and instead enjoy the officially sanctioned content, carefully curated for your loyalty. All citizens are reminded, there is no Way of Mandalore. There's only the Way of the Empire and Disney. Any attempts to improve, re-edit, or fix this story are acts of treason against both the Emperor and the shareholders. You will like Disney Star Wars, and you will clap when the credits roll. Long live the Empire. Long live Disney. This concludes your scheduled entertainment. Please, turn off your devices now. Hey, you know, it wouldn't be an AC Bagel stream without a technical difficulty in there. Yes, I left the mute button on my microphone. Yeah. So, I don't know what happened, guys. I tried to turn my camera on. It just didn't... I got intercepted or something. Oh well. Maybe another day. Should I do some credits? It's getting kind of late. My brain is slowing down. Let's get a couple in. Let me just say I started. Where is Grogu? Yeah, that will be the first one. Numero uno. See, and then it fades to the wrong thing, so that's why I gotta manually do all this stuff. Yes, that was not my face. I tried to turn my camera on. I just got like hijacked. I don't know what to tell you. That's what we get for fan editing. Speaking of the AI stuff that we'll be able to do eventually. What about it? Little Grogu. Might as well just move these out of here. So then this would be another one. Ah, I hate when I push that button. What did I do here? AI is going to become so powerful and so cheap. If I were these IP holders, I would say, you want to watch Star Wars edits with AI? Sure, but you need to pay the Disney Plus Super Special Edition sub. I'm not sure where they're going to go with it. Like, the court rulings aren't, like, there yet to set a standard with AI stuff. I would expect in our lifetimes we will start to see, at least in the US and worldwide, some big time cases that will really change the industry. It's weird with the IP stuff. And you understand why the big IP companies don't. They're like excited about it because internally they can use it in their workflow, save a bunch of money. But on the other side of things, like you said, fans are just going to run away with their stuff and make their own movies. So I don't know where that's going to go. Like right now, there's nothing in there, like in the law, that says these like AI companies can't reproduce this copyrighted material. But they're so afraid of getting sued by Disney, and they'd get sued to oblivion, and then Disney would just essentially buy them, that they are censoring themselves for now. And so, like, if it goes to court, for example, I was working on something earlier this was a Chinese company, Chinese AI company, and it would not let my prompt go through with the word Star Destroyer. But if I just change it to I just changed it to like capital Starship, and it went through just fine. So that's why I say they've uploaded like terms and some image matchings, like the Google one. It won't ever do celebrities. This Chinese one will do celebrities, but Google is like, if there's a face, it sends it through some sort of filter that scans the faces against a bunch of celebrities that they're scared of. And if it detects a certain resemblance, it will not allow you to generate a video of that person. Look, people are going to do nefarious things with AI. People are going to do some demented stuff with the technology that will come out. I don't think you can stop it. They're going to try for as long as they can. They're going to hold out because people are afraid. And I understand the fear, but it's just inevitable. I mean, it's just going to happen. And there's workarounds and jailbreaks and stuff that you can start to get around the copyrighted content issue right now. I've utilized them. That's how I've gotten some of the stuff you've seen in here. But these AI companies are only doing it to cover their own butts. They just want to, like, when it does go to court, they want to be able to say, hey, we put in all this stuff. We weren't trying to do it. People were going around our systems. We had a mention of it in our terms and conditions. We uploaded all these censorship models to stop this from happening. Like, no, we can't control the behavior of people who go around those things. That's all these AI companies are trying to do right now. They would love to be able to expand and let people do whatever they want with copyrighted content, but they're so afraid of the mega corporations that they are censoring themselves right now. So yeah, where does it go from here? Yes, you're probably right. They start. I don't know if it'll look as like bold faced as you're saying. Hey, you can make copyrighted content as long as you're subscribed to this $100 a month, $1,000 a month Disney Plus thing. I don't know if it will be that like in your face, especially because it's only a matter of time before these AI models are so open sourced that, you know, like OpenAI and Google can't control the market like they are right now. As soon as somebody releases a really good, and of course improvements are going to keep being made, but eventually, like with almost any kind of technology, there's like a cap at some point where like the technological development really slows down. You get these bursts of really fast development. We've seen it in medicine. We've seen it in videography and entertainment. We've seen it in transportation. Now we're seeing it with artificial intelligence. And so it's gonna take a while to like reach that peak. But yeah, eventually it's gonna be so open source. It's me having that. I'll just be able to go online and download off GitHub like a model that can make movies in 20 minutes, you know? So that's the future we're trending towards. And yeah, the big IPs are they're gonna try and devour as much of the profit as they can. We'll see how it develops. It's going to be very world changing. It's an unstoppable force. AI is to movies what movies were to theater. Yes. Yeah, like plays and such. Yeah, we're gonna, you know, you talk to a 1800s peasant about what entertainment will look like in their, you know, 2-3 generations down from them. They couldn't fathom it. It wouldn't even be a concept that like makes sense to them in any means. So yeah, we kind of hit like a cap on that movie technology. I mean, okay, like the leap to 720p to 1080p to 2K to 4K, and then we're gonna go to 8K. It's okay. I mean that's just all the same thing. Just improving. I mean, we're talking like whole new categories of things, like things getting invented that we couldn't even fathom. So it's hard to speculate what it will look like in 50 years or 100 years, but I think I can kind of see the short term, the next 5 to 10 years of it. But new things that I can't even fathom will be out by the time my kids are having kids. I agree that they should just embrace it. Yeah. Let's get it. Let's rip the Band-Aid off, like with that face reveal. I really tried to do. Yeah, just get it over with. Let's move things along. I mean, there's been a lawsuit about an AI using Disney's content. I have heard about that. The lawsuits are beginning, but they're gonna take a while to go through the courts and up to the Supreme. Like I think you will get one in the U.S. Supreme Court. Probably within the next 5 years. And I have no clue. Okay, you're talking a bunch of 70-year-olds trying to fathom AI, and yes, they have high IQs, I guess, but there's like that generational disconnect with technology. I'm sure we've all seen it. It's just some stuff is too new for, you know, elderly folks to really grasp. I saw it so much over the last week or two with the Charlie Kirk thing. Man, you've got like career police and prosecutors going out for these press conferences trying to read the inscriptions on these bullet casings. Okay, I hear what is on those, and instantly I understand the messages. I mean, down to like the Helldivers memes. Okay? Even like a week after, the prosecutor was coming out and had no clue what those meant. And I'm sure somebody told him, yeah, it's a reference to a video game about a bomb. Okay, but there is still like a generational disconnect on what that means. Like that 60, 70-year-old prosecutor who didn't grow up playing video games, doesn't understand the culture of online gaming, has never experienced it. You know, they're trying to fathom these things that they're, you know, this guy's been doing good things in the law for the last 40 years, okay? There's just that this generational disconnect will always exist. It's going to happen to me when I'm older. Something new's going to pop up that I'm just not going to be able to fathom. I'm a big proponent of, like, the youth are very important because there are these generational lines that are very difficult to cross, if not just impossible, because of how different the lived experiences were. I would love to see a culture that youth and age work together a lot better. I think we're still at a time where it's pretty bad right now in that aspect. In general, the elderly have disdain for the youth, and a lot of youth just have no respect for the elderly. Like, you got to learn to value each other's lived experiences. You know, my grandpa, you know, came through like the World War II era, you know, the post World War II era, and then, you know, went through Vietnam and stuff. Like, it's stuff I'll never be able to fathom. You know, him hearing about the Great Depression and all from his parents and stuff. Like, yeah, we got to bridge those gaps. How did I get on that rant? I'm trying to get Grogu. I'm trying to get the right frame for my credits, and there I go on a lecture. Who did that to me? Okay, he's training. I know there was another training one. Yeah, he blocks a blaster. Pew! Any more Grogus? Oh, there we go. Heck yeah, that's a cool one. I like that. Oh, there we go with that. So 2 back-to-back. That saves me from having to make a cross dissolve. See you, man. Thanks for swinging by. You did more than swing by. You stuck around. Appreciate it. I will catch you later. I'm about to wrap this up anyways. Actually, I would said I was just going to do the Yavin ones, so that's probably it for me too. It's fun. Thanks everybody. I'll try and set up the face reveal again in the future. I don't know what happened. Like, my screen just went black for a while. Then it came back. It just camera was malfunctioning or something. So we're gonna save this. We're gonna wrap it up. Good to talk to you. Thanks for coming in, Jedi Fonz, Punklahoma. Give some respect to the XP. Punklahoma, Prisms, Jedi Fonz, and Hardwick. Good to see it. Look at that. Prisms is always tying with people, and it sticks him in second. I think it's alphabetical when it's a tie. So if you want to be number one, rename your channel to be like A. All right, this was fun. See you around, folks.